Hi, and welcome to Till Death Do Us Watch Party. Tonight we're reviewing The Legend of Vox Machina, Season 2, Episode 9. Jeez, we're already at 9.
Yeah.
It seems like in just a few days we'll be doing Episode 12.
Because we are.
Yeah, we're a little behind, don't mind us. So we're going to run right into it. So, we didn't give spoiler warnings for the last few, but this is your spoiler warning. So, yeah, be warned. I'm so good at this.
I thought it was great.
So, in this episode called The Test of Pride, we only get Scanlan, Pike, and Grog. Mm-hmm. They don't show you a lick of the others from the Fey Realm. So, I'm sure there's a reason for that. But hopefully we'll see them in episode 10.
What are they going to do? Show a montage of them going somewhere else?
It's going to be a montage.
Montage!
All right. Can't say montage without that. Sorry. But basically, you first kind of get a little bit of a flashback in this episode to start. And you get to see young babyface Grog, who looked kind of almost as skinny as he is currently.
I didn't recognize him.
I kind of recognized him.
I mean, he's so lean.
Yeah, he was very lean. Like I said, he kind of seems as skinny as he is currently.
Yeah, but it's like I kind of liked seeing the boyish Grog. It was interesting.
Except he was very much a bloodthirsty killer. Which, I mean, I think that was the herd's mentality. So the herd of storms, I think is what they're called. But
they're storm giants, right? Or like they're storm half giants.
They call them half giants in the show. They were Goliath in the game. I'm not really sure what genealogy of giants they might descend from because I am not hip to the know on storm giant or any giant knowledge when it comes to D&D. That's just not been my forte.
I played one time. They were kind of neat. Yeah. But we didn't play that game very long from what I remember.
I don't remember you playing as a half giant or anything.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah. But we get to see that Grog's going on this little bit of a killing spree, and then he breaks into a house, and there's an old man gnome, and he decides not to kill him. The old man's begging for his life. A locket pops open, and he sees the old man and a little girl. And it turns out to be Pike's great-great-grandpa Wilhelm and her in the picture in the locket. And so he spares Wilhelm, which then gets Grog the beating of his life, to which then Wilhelm and Pike come and heal them. Mm-hmm. Or heal Grog, I should say. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where we cut back to them. They've kind of moved on to Westrun because for some reason they think that the three of them with a very skilled or understrength Grog and Pike, who's still recovering from a severe gaping chest wound, and Scanlan are going to go and recover a vestige of divergence from Grog's uncle. That's what they've decided to do, just the three of them. And I'm like, this doesn't sound like a good plan, but apparently that was the plan. So they've kind of moseyed on into a barn that's on the outside of the city of Westrun, I think is the name of the city. And they decide that someone needs to go in and scout. So Scanlan agrees to do it. And him and Pike have had strong flirtations in the last few episodes.
I think she's just admiring him because when he's not acting like an over-sexualized fop, he's actually like...
Yeah, he has
caring.
depth.
Yeah, he's caring. He has depth.
Yeah. It's an ongoing theme with Scanlan is that he's much more than just the pervy... flimsy outward shell.
Yeah.
But so Dragon. Yeah. Scanlan decides that he's gonna head on into the city. He turns into a dragonfly, which is where my little bit of a gaffe came from, and he flutters into the city, leaving Pike and Grog alone. He is scouting about, and he doesn't really see much of what's going on until he comes across, and I can't remember this guy's name, but it's basically Kevdak's son, Grog's cousin, who is complaining about how they shouldn't be working with the dragons. They should be fighting the dragons and taking their wealth. And so he's kind of grumbling, and it's about this time, I don't know if Scanlan got accidentally smacked and knocked out of his polymorph, because I'm pretty sure that's the spell that was cast, or if it just ran out of time. Might have been the latter, because I feel like it was supposed to represent the latter. And he barely manages to go and hide after he falls behind a couple of boxes that were conveniently there to obscure him.
Metal Gear Solided that shit.
Yep. And so Scanlan runs in there and apparently just like comes across a cavalcade of refugees that are just hiding under everybody's noses right there. And it's got, I remember seeing a tabaxi and a little baby tabaxi, and then a bunch of other people of the city, and then a bardic troupe. Dr. Dranzel and his band, which that's straight from the campaign. Scanlan, I think, used to run with them in the campaign, but it seems like they altered that, so he was never part of the group in the show.
Can be running with them now, I suppose.
Yeah. And with Dr. Dranzel is this very feisty young girl named Kaylee. And she seems to be kind of giving Scanlan the business the whole time that she's talking to him.
She doesn't seem to like him that much.
Yeah. It's like she sees what he is and is like, nah, mate, I'm good.
Oh, it's kind of like, you're here to save us? Seriously? You? You're here to save us. Okay.
Yeah. So, we can get a little bit more into that later. But basically, during all this, we still are getting little glimpses of Grog's past. And then eventually Grog decides that he's going to head back to the city while Scanlan is trying to convince them to let him go find his friends to help them. And they're insisting, no. We have to go with you. You're not leaving us. So as luck would have it, as Grog and Pike are sneaking into the city in one of the ballsiest deception moves I've seen the group make, where he just covers Pike in pig's blood and just pretends that I've got tribute.
It was different.
Yeah, it's like, that was a very clever play for a very dumb character.
Yeah. It's again, watching some of the clips that you've watched, I've always seen where Travis...
Sorry, dog.
You comfy? Okay. I've seen multiple times where, and I kind of like this, where Travis is sitting at the table and something will happen and he'll go, well, wait, Grog wouldn't know that. And then he'll just shut up. Yeah.
Travis is good at trying not to be overly smart, and sometimes they call him out on it, and sometimes he's just like, no, wait, I no. Which I've done that too with characters that have low intelligence before.
Well, I won't. Please continue. Well, people say low intelligence. 10 is average. So it's like your average person, like I believe a lot of people these days are just average. And then you see a lot of people who are probably 6s or 7s out there.
Yeah. But when I play a 6 or a 7, I don't feel like I can use all the knowledge I would possibly be able to think of. So I always try to play. You've seen me play Gink.
Yes.
I was very good at playing.
Oh, that character pissed me off.
1, 2.
Many.
Yeah,
go up there and tell me how many there are over there. Okay. 1, 2. There's many. I was like, there's 10? No, there's many. Oh, thanks. You're very helpful.
She had no literacy skills.
I paid for that information.
No, I think you're thinking of when Granda scammed you.
I don't remember.
Granda in a different game. I've played a couple of orcs. One was smart, one wasn't. But Granda was my smart one. But she was not your typical skill monkey rogue. She was more of a combat rogue, and I didn't dump stat intelligence, but I didn't really pump a lot into it. And so I kind of just spread the skills and didn't really focus on anything. And he asked me to do a gather intelligence roll, because this was back in 3.5 Pathfinder times. And I said, sure, if you drink a beer, because he was playing a drow mage, male drow mage at the time. And he was like, no, 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 no. And I was like, don't drink the beer. I won't, or don't drink this ale, and I won't go to gather intelligence. So I made him drink the beer first, and to which then I rolled really poorly on gather intelligence. So I just role played as like, hey, do you know this? No? Okay. I know. Sorry, man.
Yeah. Needless to say, the conversation at the table went on for like the next 10 minutes. Like, seriously, what the F? But hey.
Hey, I got what I wanted out of the deal. It was great.
Anyways, we're not reviewing our games.
But basically, that's pretty much most of the gist of it. Grog decides he's not leaving with everybody. He's going to go back and face his uncle. You find, the whole episode's kind of interspersed with this flashback to and from with him as a young man and him as now. There is a quick, brief scene with Umbrasyl, and we did see, I think, a scene in a previous episode, and these 3 that just came out, with Umbrasyl trying to convince Thordak that the vestiges are something that they need to be going after. Mm-hmm. But Thordak doesn't really seem to be interested in that. He just thinks hoarding wealth is all they need to ascend to godhood, because it seems like that's kind of what he's trying to do right now.
Those dragons. They just want shit. They just want shit.
I mean, dragons are, I think they're gods, in my opinion. So
there's a running gag in the show I'm watching right now with Brennan. That's burn cities, get loot. And that's literally all they're doing right now. Burn cities, get loot. And I'm just wondering, because those guys from this episode are serving the dragons and they're getting complaining about how they're being servants, it's like if they knew what happened to the last humans that were like, here's some stuff, and they're like, your offerings are starting to piss us off, so they just kill them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
I think Kevdak's people, like his son, are starting to wonder what would happen to him if they can't meet the demands. Plus, why should they be giving away all of their hard-earned spoils, whereas Kevdak is kowtowing to them at every opportunity. So you do get another appearance though of Umbrasyl, and Scanlan does witness this while he's in hiding with the refugees, and he sees that Umbrasyl is just carrying around Myth Carver, and he did see that Anna Ripley was there, but he did not know who she was. He recognized the voice, but he couldn't place it. So I think that was important. But for the most part, that's really all that goes on in this episode.
And Grog challenges Homeboy.
Yeah.
That was where the episode went. So I'm going to guess this is where we get to find out what his true power is.
I'm guessing so too.
But we've seen Grog's background, Keyleth's. Mm-hmm.
Vex and Vax.
We've seen Percy from last season.
Yeah.
We still don't know a whole hell of a lot about
Scanlan,
and we still don't know a whole hell of a lot about
Pike.
I mean, we've seen where they meet.
Yeah.
But we don't know much more than that.
And you do get a little bit of a tidbit about Pike in this episode, that apparently at one point she was dark-haired, as opposed to the blonde that she is now.
Probably when the Lightbringer or whatever touched her.
Yeah.
And turned her hair white. Who knows? But I'd like to know more. I do love getting character backstory, and I think the dragons and everything are cool. But I really like knowing the backstory to like know who these people are, because it makes you feel like they're more fleshed out characters, and it makes you feel a little closer to them. So that's what I've been really enjoying so far.
Yep.
And yeah.
Yeah. So did anything in particular stand out to you this episode?
I would say Scanlan. I liked the scenes where he's like, basically helping Grog and helping support him, and helping him up, and and then like basically Pike just kind of like watching him be a caregiver. I really dug Scanlan this episode, so he kind of stood out to me.
Okay.
The dragons, of course, always stand out. At the beginning of the season, it's like I was all about the dragon stuff, but they've kind of backed off that because they're like the overarching problem. And now it's kind of taken a back seat to let's get into these people's background as we give you like them collecting the vestiges. And I kind of dig that. I kind of dig the gear they've gone into. I would love if one of our GMs that might watch this would have a nice little montage game of us collecting ultra powerful artifacts.
Yeah, good luck with that, buddy.
But yeah, that's what stood out to me.
Okay. I mean, I'm always probably going to concur anytime you say that Scanlan stood out because, you know, he's my fave.
Yeah, he's cool. He's definitely cool.
Is he growing on you?
There's no real growing. Like, I don't dislike any of the characters. I dislike the growth on some of the characters. And like my main bone to pick is Keyleth. Like, she is. What level would you say they are about now?
12 or 13.
Yeah. That's 13 levels. You're a badass at this point.
Yeah.
And like, it seems like only when her character's not thinking and is in the moment is when she does cool shit. Like when they were falling and she didn't have time to think, she just turned into a giant eagle and grabbed everyone she could. Mm-hmm. You know, that was cool. And if maybe that's the point. Maybe I'm missing the point. Maybe that's her identifying characteristic, and I'm missing the point of I should be enjoying that about her and when she gets into those rhythms, but maybe I'm focusing on it.
I mean, the point, a lot of what I saw as Keyleth's character was that she lacked confidence, which I've talked about in previous episodes. So for me, I feel like that was how they played it off, with just her just constantly doubting herself, having no confidence in her abilities despite having that. And it was only when the moment didn't allow herself to doubt in the moment, and she just had to act. She had to just push everything aside and feel, just act and live off those emotions and not get in her own head. So
I just would like to see her. I mean, I think it's time to officially do less of that. Because we just watched her backstory where...
Well, hopefully she will. We haven't really had a lot of Keyleth focus since her episode.
Right.
To see, I mean, she was doubting the spell after she cast it when they were fleeing from Umbrasyl, but at the same time, she did have a dragon, like...
bearing down on them.
Yeah, so that should shake anybody up.
And she was doing the ritual as other people were running to get into the circle. So it's like there's a lot of pressure there. And then you got hit by a dragon as you uttered the last words. Mistakes happen.
Yeah.
That's not technically a mistake. That was just a circumstance of it.
So I feel like, you know, that gets a little bit of a pass, and we've not really seen her do anything major other than turn into the fire elemental in the previous episode and like, you know, take out some dryads. I mean, which she didn't really doubt herself in that moment.
Right.
She showed more confidence there, but I think we have to just see how she proceeds from basically this point forward to know if there's been any kind of growth or change. I feel like she should, but again, she's always was one of my lower level characters that I followed.
Well, it's like, I love the actress. I think she's great. But it's like your character literally stepped up to the hole that caused the main problem of what's going on right now with the big dragon. And it was uttered that this was like the big world-ending thing if we can't get this under control. And you stepped in, you turned into
but this isn't a Keyleth episode.
Just saying. Just saying. But yeah, no, she's a badass. But yeah, it was, I mean, the episode was good. Anything that focuses around Grog, I dig.
Yeah.
Like, what stood out to you?
I mean, like I already said, the Scanlan stuff, for reasons I can't really discuss, unfortunately. I can't discuss them. Spoiler.
Got it. Not for them, for me.
For anybody who's not knowledgeable on Campaign 1, massive spoilers of some stuff that happened with Scanlan this episode.
If you're looking for spoilers, you won't find them here. But Amber is not messing it up for me, and therefore, not for you either.
But needless to say, I very much dug a lot of what happened with Scanlan in this episode for a lot of reasons that I can hopefully disclose.
Soonish.
I don't know if they're going to disclose it in this next 3 episodes or not. I just don't know.
Okay. Well, I mean,
they might, but I don't know.
So I will tell you,
by the end of the season 3, yeah, they will.
So I'll tell you what I think Grog's doing right now is suicide, and I do not know how they're going to pull it off.
I think whenever he taps into whatever his rage, I think he's going to reactivate his muscles.
Well, it's like the only thing I can think of is that all the people that are hiding, like, to me, it's like it's my strength or it's my rage, and it's like I think it's your friends, your party, Like it's your support structure. Because no one just wins a fight by themselves.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'm
this
hoping,
is all new territory.
Right. I think he's going to start getting his ass kicked and all the people hiding, and then, his friends, they're going to attack and run those people back. Mm-hmm. That's where I think it's going. I'm not sure, though. I have no idea. But it's suicide. The dude's got, like, a 5 strength, and he's walking up on a dude that's, like, 3 times his size with, like, these gigantic, crazy boxing mitts. So, we'll see. Or maybe this is just his turn to die.
Nah. I don't think he's going to die.
We'll see.
I don't think he's going to die.
Dude can take a hit. That's definitely.
I mean, I kind of know what the next 3 beats are based off of the titles of the episodes that I've seen already. So I kind of know what the 3 beats of the next 3 episodes are going to be, which is why I don't think the spoilers that I think I can't talk about will be in the next 3 episodes. They could be, but I doubt it. And I know where it's going, and I don't think... I'm not going on record and saying I don't think they're going to kill Grog in the episode with Kip.
So, after the episodes that are released, is there a next time on Vox Machina? Like, I've never seen them, but then again, we don't... Like, we get to that point where it's like, skip to the next episode?
I don't know.
Please.
I have no idea. I just know what the 3 titles are, and I could read them out to you if you want, but I don't think they're going to tell you anything. Oh, I know what they mean, but again, I'm using campaign knowledge.
If you're using campaign knowledge too, write it down in the comments. Have a conversation with
He
Amber
won't read
about
them,
it.
don't worry.
I don't read any of them.
He can't read.
Well...
I'm kidding. He can totally read.
I can read shampoo bottles. I've had practice. That's what we used to read when we were pooping back in the day, folks. Anyways, I can't wait to see where it goes. I can't wait for the next episode. This was the most entertaining of the 3 that they released last week to me.
I like the Echo Tree a bit more. But again, I particularly like Percy and Vex together, so that's been like that had the most seeds of that. So
I like Percy's character look, but I'm not crazy about Percy himself. This episode the episode before this where he was like, oh, this is a blah, and it does this, and it does that, and look at this thing, and that thing. It's like they were getting their ass kicked every time he identified something, and it took so long for him to go, I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's like, that can get mofos killed.
Yeah, but there's a part of him that's showing off. Have you never shown off for a girl that you had a crush on, Lance?
Yes.
Yeah, and it doesn't always end so well.
I mean, if you're gonna show off, you need to...
Well, he was trying to show off his knowledge, and he was trying to play off that he was knowledgeable, but then the realm was like, no, you don't. And so, I mean, he had no idea that what little bit he read in the book, he didn't know if what he read in the book was going to be accurate or not.
Very confident, getting his ass kicked the entire time.
Yeah.
But, I find his character interesting. I can't wait to see what happens with the show. But I'd say Percy's my second least favorite character on the show.
That's okay.
I'm allowed to be wrong?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're wrong a lot.
Let's end this video.
It's okay. You're allowed to be wrong.
That's true.
You're also allowed to cry.
I'm wrong often.
Men cry manly tears, and it's A-okay.
Did someone say it wasn't?
There's a lot of men who say it's not okay to cry. You know that.
I cry every night.
I know. I hear it in the bathroom.
I guess that's all there is to say. Hey, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Have a great one. Good night.
And tell us some of your favorites. Like when you hit the Patreon button. That's one of our favorites. Still not a Patreon.
Don't split the party.
Don't split the party. Bye.
Bye.